Okay, let's look today at how we calculate the circumference of a circle and also of composite shapes that have circles or part circles in them. Okay, so a few things we need to remember is that the distance around the circle is this whole distance right around here is the circumference. I made it a bit messy, but that's okay. Now, two other measurements we need to remember is this measurement that goes right through, straight line from one side to the other, passing through the centre, and that one is called the diameter. We often use the letter D. We'll use a capital D today. And another useful measurement is just the distance from the centre to the outside, and that is called the radius. And we often use just the letter R, little r there, okay? Now, many years ago, people, I think it was thousands of years, a couple of thousand years ago, they were looking for the relationship, people were looking for the relationship between the circumference and the diameter. And they found no matter what size circle, that if you measured the circumference and divided it by the diameter, it always equaled the same number. And that number was 3.141. That keeps going. They gave that a special name. They called that pi. Now, it's easier to measure a diameter or a radius because they are straight lines. So knowing about this special relationship here, we can turn this formula around and we can say that if we know the diameter, then the circumference will equal pi times the diameter. Okay. Now also what we do know is that the diameter is 2 times the radius. So if we take this formula here, circumference equals pi times the diameter, and we substitute in, instead of the diameter, we have 2 times r, which is the same as the diameter, and we can just rearrange the numbers slightly to have 2 times pi times r, or we can take out the time signs as we often do and have 2 pi r. Okay, now we can pick formula 1 or formula 2 depending on the information we're given. We would pick formula 1 if we are given the diameter, and we would pick formula 2 if we were given the radius. So let's look at some questions off the worksheet. Okay, and the first one is question 1a, and we have a circle here that is that has a diameter of 2 centimetres. So we're given the diameter equals 2 centimetres. We will use formula 1. Okay, so we would say, and now in part 1 here, we just have to give the answer in terms of pi. Okay, so we would say, okay, C equals pi times D, C equals pi times, we know the diameter is 2, we can just say equals 2 pi. Okay, and that's all we have to say. We don't have to give it an exact measurement. Now in part 2 here, we have to actually calculate it in centimetres. So that would be C equals, use part 1 there, is 2 pi, and just do that on the calculator, 2 times pi, and that comes to, if we go to 3 decimal places, that would be 6.282. In fact, you only need to go to 2 decimal places for most questions. Okay, let's look at the next one here, question 2. And this time we have been given the radius, okay? So that r equals 4 metres. Now, again, finding the answer just in terms of pi, this time we need formula 2. I might just change colours here. This time we need formula 2, which is this one here. Okay, so we've got C equals 2 pi r C equals 2 times pi times 4, which equals 8 pi. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to multiply in pi, just leave it at that. And then part 2 is to actually do that calculation. So C equals 8 times pi. Do that on a calculator, and we get, what do we get? 25.13 meters. You might get 1, 2 there, depending on whether you use the pi button on your calculator or just this number up here. Okay, now part 4, let's have a look. This time we are being asked to find perimeter. It's not saying circumference. The reason they're saying that is, I've drawn a circle here, but that's not the actual case. This is the shape that you've been given, okay? It's a half a circle, okay? So we can find separately this part, the curved part, but we also need to remember we need to add in this part, which is straightforward. There's no calculation to do there, it's just straight adding. Okay, so let's look at the curved part again. I'll do that in blue, okay? And so we'd say that, I'll just call it curve equals, okay? We have a diameter, D equals 10. Okay, so we use the first formula. The circumference, a full circumference, would equal the pi times the diameter. But because it's only half a circle, we've got to divide by 2. So it would be pi times 10 divided by 2 equals 5 pi, which equals 15.7. 15.7, what is it, centimetres? Now don't forget we need to add on this green line here, okay? So the perimeter, P, is going to equal 15.7 plus 10, which equals 25.7 centimetres. Okay, now the rest of question 4 gets a little bit trickier, but it's the same idea. Okay, today I would like you to get down to question 4F. Okay, completing all the questions 1, 2, 3, and up to 4F. Thank you.